Time is 4:30. This is WKYT This Morning. One person is dead, another injured after they were hit by a car in Whitley County. The latest on that is just ahead this morning.
Also, as the Democratic National Convention continues, members are trying to unite the party behind the presumptive presidential nominee Hillary Clinton. We'll have more campaign coverage coming up.
And about 100 community members gathered to pray for a Kentucky woman seriously injured while biking in France. More on that prayer service and your forecast on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Tuesday, July 26th, and we're glad you're on WKYT bright and early. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. It's still hot.
It is, and muggy, and we get more of the same, it sounds like today, with an increased chance of showers. Here's meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, we're going to have that every single day this work week, at least the chance of it outside, and they're hit and miss just like yesterday. But when they do hit you, you're talking about some heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and strong winds. Nothing going on right now. This morning is still pretty warm and humid as you walk out the door. 73 degrees right now in Lexington. 90 by the afternoon. Hit and miss storms in the forecast. We'll go over that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much. In the news, one person is dead after a crash in Whitley County. Investigators say a car hit two people on a road, killing one of them.
It happened just after 6 o'clock last night on Highway 895 near Williamsburg. Police called in an accident reconstruction unit as part of the investigation. Garrett Weimer has the latest.
A small section of Highway 895 here in Whitley County was closed for hours as crews investigated. Investigators still haven't released many details about what happened out here, but we do know one person was killed and another was injured. The sheriff says it was about 6 p.m. when two people were hit by a car here on Kentucky 895. It's a rural state highway not far from Highway 204 that runs through the Canada-Town community here in Whitley County. The road was blocked off at 204 while crews worked at the crash scene. It appears to have happened just past a curve in the road in front of a clearing with a few homes. The coroner says one person died at the scene. The sheriff says the second person was taken to the hospital. He did not know how badly that person was hurt. The sheriff did say the driver took off at first, but then came back to the scene. No word yet on whether that driver might face any charges. Crews remained on the scene well after nightfall. The sheriff says Kentucky State Police have taken over the investigation. I'm told KSP sent a collision reconstruction team from Richmond to try to figure out what exactly happened here. In Whitley County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
So far, investigators have not released the name of that person killed in the crash. US 60 was closed late into the evening after a crash in Woodford County. Versailles police say a tractor trailer and pickup collided near the US 62 intersection in Versailles just after 4 yesterday. The tractor trailer ended up on its side. Police say both drivers were taken to the hospital. Their conditions are not known this morning. Investigators are not sure what caused the crash.
The Democratic National Convention continues today. On the first day, yesterday, it featured both high-profile speakers and some vocal objections from the convention floor. The Democrats are trying to unite the party behind the presumptive presidential nominee Hillary Clinton. Daniel Nottingham has more from Philadelphia.
Thank you. This may be Hillary Clinton's Democratic National Convention, but tonight belonged to Bernie Sanders.
I look forward to your votes during the roll call tomorrow night.
Sanders got a primetime speaking slot in an attempt to soothe his ruffled supporters and convince them to back the former First Lady.
Based on her ideas and her leadership, Hillary Clinton must become the next president of the United States.
But Sanders' supporters are standing firm.
To the Bernie or bust people, you're being ridiculous.
Tonight's speakers try to refocus the conversation on the presumptive nominee and not party infighting. First Lady Michelle Obama told delegates and the nation why she believes Clinton is the best choice for president.
Hillary Clinton has never quit on anything in her life.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren went on the attack against Republican nominee Donald Trump.
Donald Trump has no real plans for jobs or for college kids or for seniors. No plans to make anything great for anyone except rich guys like Donald Trump.
The goal is to wrap up the week in Philadelphia as a unified party in message and tone and defeat Trump in November. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Philadelphia.
And former President Bill Clinton will be addressing the convention tonight. If you want to weigh in on some issues in Kentucky, Senator Rand Paul is hosting a series of town hall meetings. Today he'll be in Corbin, Pineville, Harlan, and Whitesburg. Tomorrow he'll be making a stop in Lexington. And today, Senator Rand Paul's opponent in the upcoming election will be unveiling his plan to help Kentucky's coal communities. Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, the Democratic nominee, will talk at the Pike County Courthouse at 11 this morning. He'll be joined by some other state leaders, including House Speaker Greg Stumbo and former Kentucky Governor Paul Patton.
Investigators still are not sure what led to a knife attack in Japan that led to more than a dozen people killed. They say the man walked into a facility for the disabled near Tokyo and began stabbing people. Police say after the attack, he turned himself in. They say he's a former employee of the facility and told them he wanted to get rid of the disabled. Firefighters now say 19 people were killed in the attack. Dozens more were injured. An investigation's underway after police found a man dead inside a Lexington home. Lexington police were called out to the home on Ross Avenue off West 3rd Street around noon yesterday after neighbors complained of a strong smell coming from the home. Investigators say they found a badly decomposed body of a man inside. The coroner says the man could have been dead for up to 3 or 4 days. His name has not been released. At this point, investigators are not sure exactly what caused his death. A Central Kentucky woman is still in the hospital after suffering a serious head injury in Europe.
Family members of Laura Babbage say she was riding a bike in France when she was injured. She's the wife of former state auditor and Secretary of State Bob Babbage. Last night, about 100 people gathered for a prayer service in Lexington for Laura. Monique Blair has the story.
Laura Babbage is no stranger to bicycling. In fact, this video is from a bicycling story WKYT did with Babbage a few years ago. But last Thursday night, Babbage was in a cycling accident.
She and her son, youngest son, were doing the Tour de France.
After the bicycle crash, Babbage was flown to Grenoble, France.
She is now in a coma. They put her into a coma to let the brain get some time to heal.
Babbage's family is by her side, but an ocean away from France, back here in Lexington. The love for Babbage was evident.
Laura's probably one of the most special people in our community. Everybody loves Laura Babbage. She just radiates happiness and love for everyone, and that's why we're all here.
During the service, these prayer cards were handed out, and Laura Babbage's loved ones were asked to write personal messages to her and her family. And now every single one of these prayer cards will be sent to France in an effort to lift up Laura Babbage.
She loves the Lord so much. She loves her family so much. She loves each of you so very much.
Laura's husband and former state auditor Bob Babbage has asked for prayers from the community, saying that is the best thing anyone can do for his wife right now. So that's exactly what they're doing.
To give the power of prayer to get to Laura and to heal her and get her back here with us.
In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Bob Babbage has used social media as a way to update the Lexington community on how his wife is doing. In his last update, he said she has shown little signs of progress.
Well, 2 people facing charges in 5 states have been arrested in Madison County. The Madison County Sheriff's Office says they and the U.S. Marshals served warrants Sunday to 38-year-old Becky Calhoun and 37-year-old Shawan Parks. They say they arrested Calhoun after a standoff at a home on Keystone Drive. Police say both suspects face multiple charges in Kentucky for theft and other offenses. They say both have pending charges in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Tennessee. We have a traffic alert that will affect many drivers in Lexington today. Part of Man-O-War Boulevard will be closed for about 6 hours. Between 9 this morning and 3 this afternoon, you will not be able to turn from Winchester Road onto Man-O-War. You'll have to use Polo Club instead. Crews will be working on making pavement repairs on Man-O-War.
All right, so heads up on that, everybody. And our time this morning is 4:39. WKYT this morning is just getting started on your Tuesday.
Is your family prepared in case of an emergency? Mom Savior Day puts together a safety kit you should have on hand when we return.
Looks pretty good this morning, but by the afternoon, it's not going to look so great. We're going to be seeing storms on the increase. We'll have that in your forecast coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Not much going on this morning on your Tuesday. Now, as we're walking out the door, still going to be pretty humid, but at least we're dry during the morning hours. Now, we get into the afternoon, and you know what happens. We talked about it yesterday. We're going to have daily chances at rain. 72 degrees there in Lexington at this moment. That goes for Mount Sterling, that goes for Richmond, and then Frankfort at 74 degrees as you walk out the door. Louisville still coming in at 76 degrees. Get into your afternoon. We're at 89. Now, this is going to be another day where it's warm. It's muggy, it's humid. That's going to be the case all throughout the work week until you hit Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Actually, that drops big time. But as of right now, what you can expect, at least some warm and humid conditions, and also the chance at least a few passing showers and thunderstorms. Here is the culprit. Here's what's going on. Now, that front is really right over us now, and it's going to stay that way for the next few days. It's not going to move that much, and whenever you have a front around with the heat, moisture like we have, then you're talking about at least the activity picking up towards the afternoon. And you get up toward Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday will be your better chances of rain, but daily threats each and every day, at least a chance out there. That doesn't mean everybody's going to see rain every single day. That's not what that means. What it means is it's on and off. It's kind of hit and miss. Some will see heavy rain, some will not. And once we get Thursday and Friday, then most of us see that heavy rain, lightning, and strong winds. The main threat the next few days is not so much a severe weather threat. That's very minimal. What we're looking at is a flash flood threat that will be increasing in the next several days. And that's not for everybody. That's for a few locations. If you picked up a lot of rain yesterday, expect that flash flood threat to increase in your viewing area. So just keep in mind that we're going to go through some high water issues in the next few days. 60% chance of rain today, 40% tomorrow. Then we get toward Thursday and Friday. Those are your better percentages there. It's 60 and 70%. The weekend is absolutely not a washout, but it's still a decent shot that we could see some showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Trying to plan this week, plan outdoors. The only thing that I can tell you here is morning hours will be much drier than afternoon and evening. That's the best bet to stay dry. So if you're trying to make some plans with the kids, trying to get them out, you know, summers are almost wrapping up. We still got about 3 weeks left, but just know that, yeah, afternoons it gets pretty active. You get in the heat of the day, and some of these thunderstorms start to fire away. A lot of heavy rain falling out of these with the moisture that we have.
Yeah. Okay, we'll keep watch and do it early, right?
There you go.
Thank you. 4:45 now on WKYT. It never hurts to be prepared, especially when it comes to the safety of your family.
Sure. Moms Every Day shows us how to put together an emergency kit.
It doesn't matter where you live, disaster can strike anytime, anywhere. Today I'm here at the American Red Cross. We're going to find out what your family can do to be prepared.
We'd want to start with a preparedness kit that you have prepared in advance that has all the things that you may need in the event of a disaster. Number one right here is important personal documents. I have some comfort items here for children, contact cards for emergency contacts and then contacts of family members, local maps, a personal hygiene kit. It just makes things a lot easier. First aid kit that's large enough and well stocked enough to meet the needs of your family. Flashlight with batteries and extra batteries. Maybe a multi-tool like this one here. A hand crank radio that monitors AM, FM, and the NOAA weather services. A safety blanket, medication. Can't stress this enough if people are on medication in your family. You might want to pack some non-perishable food items, and then always want to have some water available.
If your family doesn't have an emergency kit or an emergency plan, now's the time to get started.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com, click on Moms Every Day.
And all the latest news and weather is right there as well, and it's so good to have you with us up and at it. It's early here on your Tuesday on WKYT.
An Eastern Kentucky judge is transferring inmates. He says the jail they're in has a drug problem. More on that when we come back.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
And we're coming up on 4:50 on WKYT This Morning. Good to have you with us. An Eastern Kentucky judge is transferring some jail inmates because he says the jail that they are in now has a drug problem.
Court documents show 8 inmates at the Three Forks Regional Jail in Beattyville recently failed drug tests. Investigators think inmates are getting drugs while on work release and hiding them in body cavities until they get inside the jail. During a hearing yesterday, a Breathitt County judge said that the jail's not doing enough to keep drugs out of the facility.
Drugs are getting into that facility, and it's your job to keep them out.
Three Forks Regional Jail says they're doing as many drug tests as possible there in the jail. The judge ruled to move Breathitt and Wolfe County inmates at Three Forks to another jail, but it's not clear which one that will be. Well, the search continues for a man police say is behind a string of robberies in Lexington. In the last week, police say Kelly Cox robbed a Fork Bank on New Circle Road, a Fifth Third Bank on Versailles Road, and a Marathon gas station on North Broadway. Investigators say Cox robbed the same Fork Bank in 2010 and later pleaded guilty to robbery and other charges. He received a 12-year prison sentence, but the Kentucky Department of Corrections says he was released on parole last year.
Family members of a young Central Kentucky crash victim say they're furious that someone took down part of a roadside memorial for him. 17-year-old Jacob Frick, 21-year-old Brianna Kaufman, and 21-year-old Matt Darlin died in a crash last week at the intersection of Highway 33 and Faulkner Lane in Boyle County. As part of the memorial, Jacob's family put up a Confederate flag, but family members say someone took it down over the weekend. The family says it is important for them for the flag to be part of Jacob's memorial.
That rebel flag didn't mean race to him. He had pride in it. He lived for that flag.
The family adds that Jacobs was biracial. Family and friends tell us that they are now staying at the crash site around the clock to protect memorial items.
University of Louisville trustees have scheduled a special meeting for today. At the top of their agenda is campus president James Ramsey's offer to resign. This is the board's third meeting since its formation last month. Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin disbanded the former board amid turmoil over Ramsey. Bevin is facing a lawsuit challenging his authority to remove the board. The federal trial of Paintsville Mayor Bob Porter has been delayed. The trial was scheduled to begin today, but it has now been pushed back to September 21st. A federal grand jury indicted Porter and former Paintsville Utilities Commission General Manager Larry Harold for theft of government property. Investigators say Porter did not pay for more than $7,000 for utility services at his home. Harold pleaded guilty in April.
A historic solar flight has completed its journey around the world. The Solar Impulse 2 plane landed in Abu Dhabi last night, more than a year after its initial takeoff. The plane is the first round of the world flight to be powered only by the sun's energy. It made 16 stops during its trip. The plane is powered by more than 17,000 solar cells, and it uses battery power at night. The average airspeed is around 46 miles per hour.
We have an update on the construction of a new YMCA in Lexington. Officer Dawn flew over the site yesterday on Sky First. The 62,000 square foot Y is being built on Old Rosebud Road in Hamburg. It's expected to open this fall. And the YMCA is now selling charter memberships that will allow members early access to the facility before it even opens to the public. We have information if you're interested on WKYT.com.
And they're saying you should see the inside.
Oh.
Certainly, with lots of things being offered up there when it gets open. Our time this morning is 4:53. Coming up, we'll take a look at some of the stories that we're working on for you this morning.
We'll also have another look at your morning forecast. Commercial.
Good morning. Welcome back in. It's 4:56 on WKYT here on your Tuesday.
Let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you.
News team busy right now. Part of Man-O-War Boulevard will be closed for about 6 hours today for pavement repairs. What you need to know about your morning commute and into the afternoon coming up in our next half hour.
Senator Rand Paul and his opponent, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, will be campaigning in eastern Kentucky today ahead of their race for the Senate seat. Details of their visits ahead on WKYT this morning.
And it's going to be another muggy day. That chance of showers and storms is out there. Let's check in with Micah.
Yeah, and it's going to be that way all throughout the work week. Here we go with that on and off shower and thunderstorm activity. Not seeing it this morning. The good news is during the morning hours, it's more than likely not going to have any rain. But once you hit the afternoons, it really starts to spark up. We're there in the lower 70s and mid 70s in most locations. 69, I guess you could take the cake there in the Ludden and Corbin area and Laurel County. We'll talk about those storms. I'll show you where I expect the best chance and also how much rain we're expecting. That's coming up with another 2 hours of WKYT News.